In the Life is funded in part by 10%, the magazine of people, arts, and culture for lesbians and gay men, and Nora Beverages, makers of Naya Spring Water, a proud supporter of intelligent, entertaining, and informative programming on public television, and the H-Ban American Foundation.
It started with a banner that read like a headline.
In the...
Hey!
In...
Hey!
In the...
Hey!
In the...
Hey!
An estimated 1 million people assembled in Washington, D.C. today. 1 million participants from every one of the 50 states, Guam, the Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, and the District of Columbia.
Among them, Sybil Shepherd, Sir Ian McKellen, and Judith Light, Jesse Jackson, and congressional members Barney Frank and Gary Studs.
Hundreds of participating organizations and 250 related events.
With pundits and prophets already comparing it to the 1963 Civil Rights March, where Martin Luther King first uttered the words,
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. I have a dream.
Hi, I'm Karen Williams.
and I'm Garrett Glaser.
And we want to welcome you to the 1993 March on Washington for lesbian, gay, and bi equal rights and liberation.
This is, by all accounts, one of the largest Washington rallies in American history. Just being here felt like part of history, I think.
Well, that might be, but it was a heck of a good time, Garrett.
It really was. You're not just saying that. Here, take a look. It was a wonderful time. Celebrities and parties, singing and dancing, communion and reunion. But the heart and mind of the 1993 March on Washington was on something serious and far-reaching, gay and lesbian civil rights. From ACT UP's call to anger over AIDS funding and education, to the politicians who spoke at the rally on the Mall, the 1993 March on Washington for lesbian, gay, and bi equal rights and liberation was a very loud knock on the door of Washington's power elite. With the Congress and President debating the issue of the ban, gay and lesbian military and veterans organizations staged several rallies and events in support of lifting restrictions for military service.
Act up, fight back, fight AIDS. Act up, fight back, fight AIDS.
ACT UP chapters from across the country sounded a battle cry for action on AIDS-related issues. Receptions served as networks for leaders from every facet of the lesbian and gay community, while rally speakers demanded that equal rights be extended to all lesbian and gay Americans. Oregon and Colorado were in the national spotlight last November when residents there voted on initiatives to take away lesbian and gay civil rights. In Oregon, the measure was defeated. In Colorado, it was not. With several other states now considering similar initiatives, the Colorado and Oregon delegations today served as a source of anger and inspiration.
And Ground Zero is a gay and lesbian, bisexual, political and educational group dealing with fighting Colorado for family values and what they're doing in the state of Colorado right now.
The resulting boycott of Colorado's resorts and tourist centers attracted a lot of media scrutiny.
We're looking for it to be a little bit more specific as to who we should be boycotting and why. But there are states now that are not looking at this same measure due to the fact that the boycott is out there and people can see that they need to stay away from this issue.
I think people really, instead of boycotting, should do teach-ins. That's what we did in the civil rights days of the 60s when we were dealing with the South. And people didn't boycott. We got in buses and went down there and we did all sorts of education. And I think that same type of approach should go forward now.
Bob Hattoy is the Associate Director of Presidential Personnel. You may recall he electrified the 1992 Democratic Convention with his speech on AIDS education, awareness, and funding. He also praised his boss for understanding the complexity of AIDS issues and for being compassionate toward people with AIDS. Well, in November, his boss won, and as a result, Bob Hattoy now works in the White House with the president. I visited with him this week and asked him about the March on Washington from an insider's point of view. There is a story about all these gay activists meeting with the president. What was the significance of that meeting?
Well, it was a great meeting. It was a historic meeting. It was the first time that gay and lesbian leaders were invited into the White House for a meeting with a sitting president in the Oval Office. It was a very emotional day. I mean, that same day, you know, the Japanese Prime Minister had a meeting in the Oval Office. After that, the gay and lesbian leaders came into the Oval Office. It was thrilling, it was inspiring, it was frank and open, as they say in the State Department. It was friendly. And I think, you know, the folks that were there all would agree that that's what happened. I think the president had a good experience in once again connecting with gay and lesbian leaders on the issues that have been, you know, sort of confused and jumbled up in the politics of what's going on in Washington. It seemed very comfortable and clear to us that he was still very much committed to lifting the ban, signing a Civil Rights Act, appointing an AIDS czar. He explained some of the complications and the politics that took place around those issues. And so for him, I think it was good. For us, it was very good too. We had a president who was as comfortable. He's not at all uncomfortable with gay men or lesbian women. He didn't care whether someone was wearing a suit or a t-shirt and leather vest. He wanted to listen to people's ideas.
Although President Clinton did not attend the rally in person, his message of support for the lesbian and gay community came through loud and clear.
I stand with you in the struggle for equality for all Americans, including gay men and lesbian Americans. In this great country, founded on the principle that all people are created equal, we must learn to put aside what divides us and focus on what we share.
Garrett, what do you call a podium, a microphone, and 1 million people in the crowd?
Politician's dream, that's what I'd call it. Well, I mean, after all, this is Washington, D.C. More than 1 million people came here with something to say. And some congressional members, some presidential advisors, some U.S. senators did show up, and they wanted to let the marchers know, hey, we're listening.
Please welcome Senator Paul Wellstone.
Thank you, Leah. Thank you very much. Leadership is inspiring people to be their own best selves, and as a United States Senator, I want you to know that I support this rally for human rights and civil rights for all people, regardless of sexual orientation.
We are here to tell a nation that no matter what struggles lie ahead, we are willing to make the sacrifices so that never again will our gay and our lesbian young people face the terror of losing their family and their jobs. We are here for freedom.
And lobbyists and activists for the gay and lesbian community reminded everyone that the battles for civil rights are fought 365 days a year.
But now, harder than ever, we must act up, fight back, fight AIDS. Thank you.
Let's come out and let all the people see, read heterosexuals, let all the people see what for the most part straight and square and normal and sometimes boring lives we lead. Let's come out and dispel the rumors and lies that are being spread about us. Let's come out and set everybody straight, so to speak.
Thank you for being visible here on the streets surrounding the Capitol and on the main streets of every city in America. Thank you for empowering yourselves and for empowering our communities.
For on this day, with love in our hearts, we have come out
and we have come out to reach out across America to build a bridge of understanding, a bridge of progress, a bridge as solid as steel, a bridge to a land where no one suffers prejudice because of their sexual orientation, their race, their gender, their religion, or their human difference.
America is not a blanket, all one color, of uncut cloth, all red, or white, or blue.
Hey, Garrett, did you know that in 1987, Jesse Jackson said that the lesbian and gay community is like a quilt?
A quilt, yes, I think I do remember that. And if that's true, then I guess you'd have to call all the activities going on this weekend the multicolored patches. The march's 250 related events reflected the history and diversity of gay and lesbian interests and concerns. From the past, Washington's 1 in 10 Society featured an exhibit that looked at gay and lesbian culture in turn-of-the-century America, World War II Europe, and pulp novels of the 50s and 60s. The unveiling of a design for the Harvey Milk Memorial and a vigil at the Holocaust Museum silently demanded never again. From the present, as choir members from gay and lesbian choruses around the country sang Together Proud and Strong on the Capitol steps.
Call me strong.
The Mountner Project for Lesbians with Cancer sponsored a reading of poetry and prose by Dorothy Allison, Christos, and Jewel Gomez.
And there were parties, gay and lesbian hold-downs and two-step celebrations that were just for fun. There were massive gatherings sponsored by the Human Rights Campaign Fund and the National Gay and Lesbian Task Force, where having fun meant raising funds. Gays and lesbians participated in a mass wedding and reception, while same-sex couples raising children gathered to celebrate the many meanings of family.
I'm most proud of my moms because there are millions of other people out there, and they have enough guts to stand up and go to Washington and speak for their rights. They have the right to do that, and I'm real proud that they did it.
Sports events, celebrity happenings, in all a dizzying tribute to the depth and diversity of gay and lesbian culture in the 90s. You know, Garrett, this is the official program book for the March on Washington.
There are a lot of pages here.
There's hundreds of events in here and groups and all kinds of people. It's just a testament to the diversity of all the people who are participating in the march, like Stonewall 25, and there's people from the American Sign Language culture and union groups and religious groups and
political groups.
All kinds of groups, multicultural groups. And I just didn't have a chance to go to half this stuff, did you?
I think the LA cheerleaders are here too. Those are the guys with the huge hair. Actually, speaking of fun facts, let me give you one. The stage was designed by Christopher Chacon. He also fashioned the stage for the Blonde Ambition tour of his very well-known sister, whom most of us know her better as Madonna. We heard that his initial design was rejected by Park Police, and the revised version is what you see here.
In some ways, it looked more like a concert stage than a speaker's platform, and that was done on purpose because in between all the speeches, the rally goers listened to music, laughed, and just plain had a good time.
Out in the country, spreading our wings wild and free.
Doug Stevens is an openly gay country and western star who performed with the Outband.
Comes naturally, doing what comes naturally.
Holly Near!
Folk singer Holly Near sang a variation of what's been called a gay and lesbian anthem.
We are gentle, angry people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. Hi, we're Betty.
We'll follow the old man wherever he wants to go, wherever he wants to go, wherever
And the vocal trio Betty, talent that was homegrown here in Washington, D.C., serenaded the crowd in perfect harmony.
He was a famous trumpet man from out Chicago way. He had a boogie style that no one else could play. He was the top man.
All right. All right. I'm going to trip over people. Is that what's going to happen here?
There were plenty of laughs today. Comedians Leah DeLaria,
Can the camera stay with me? That's what I want. Can it stay with me? Can it stay with me? Come on, camera. You can stay with me. Good.
Kate Clinton,
Thank you very much. The parade organizers, the march organizers have told me that they have upgraded the entire march. There are so many people here that it is no longer the March on Washington, it is the Mingle on Washington.
Suzanne Westenhoefer,
But the next time that someone says to you, oh, you choose to be a lesbian, you choose to be a gay man, say, no, 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 I did not choose it. I was chosen. Yeah, stood in line, got my ticket, scratched it right off. I won! Yay!
and yours truly.
Well, I, for one, have to tell you it's very difficult being a lesbian and trying to figure out fashion. I'm sure some of you have that problem. I have a little 2% rabbit fur. I said, what the heck, I paid for it, I might as well wear it. But unfortunately, I wore it to the Living Foods health food store in Berkeley, California. And when I came out, I was picketed by the animal rights people chanting, 1, 2, 3, fur, save the animal, let's kill her. It was terrible. Please give a flamboyant welcome to Romanovsky and Phillips.
It's a good thing the military isn't as afraid of Saddam Hussein as they are of sissies. They would be in a lot of trouble.
Be all that you can be. You can do it in the army. Be all that you can be. 'Cause we need you in the army.
We all know that laughter is the best medicine, and we certainly fill that prescription.
And as always, there were a few surprises.
So far away from home, so far away from home. I don't know a soul who's not been battered. I don't have a friend who feels at ease. I don't know a dream that's not been shattered or driven to its knees. Oh, but it's all right, it's all right. We've lived so well so long. Still, when I think of the road we're traveling on, I wonder what's gone wrong. I can't help it, I wonder what's gone wrong. And I think, oh, keep it precious. Hey, no wonder, let no wonder never cease. And the madness, the pleasure, ecstasy, danger, healing me, wounding and healing me, please keep it precious.
Funny, you don't look like 300,000 people. You look more like the whole 1%.
it, girl. Do your thing on the runway. Work. You better work it, girl. Wet your lips and make love to the camera. Turn to the left. Now turn to the right. All right. Sashay, Shantae.
The logo for today's march was designed by Kansas City graphic artist David Westman. His design was selected as the result of a nationwide competition. It features a silhouette of the Capitol building and the pink triangle. That's the symbol that identified gay prisoners in Nazi Germany.
You know, Garrett, it's often been said that looking at the past will open our eyes to the present. And we wanted to take a moment to reflect on the history of gay and lesbian activism and the events that led to this 1993 march.
Our movement has many beginnings, but gays and lesbians have been addressing their concerns here in Washington for many years.
You're all outlaws in the eyes of America.
The catalyst of the gay-lesbian movement was Code 10450. That's the statute that prohibited gays and lesbians from getting government security clearances. A handful of civil servants picketed the White House in 1969. The seeds of gay and lesbian discontent had been sown.
The struggle goes on. Eventually we will win. And all the president has to do is, the governor, is to turn the pages of history a little faster.
10 years later, San Francisco Supervisor Harvey Milk challenged gay and lesbian Pride Day participants to take their anger and outrage to the nation's capital. The first mass march on Washington attracted only about 40,000 people. And then in 1987, 750,000 lesbians and gay men convened on a clear October day here in the nation's capital to educate, to celebrate, and to liberate.
We have some interesting statistics to report on the march. Compared with the 1993 inauguration, where there were 800,000 people in town and 80% of the hotels were booked, well, this event, you cannot get a room in town anywhere.
Every hotel is booked. In fact, a friend of mine told me in order to get a hotel room, he had to go past Baltimore. Now, that's a long way.
Because of the number of people here, the march weekend has been compared to President Clinton's inauguration. But there's something besides the sheer numbers that these two events have in common, and that's a lot of stars.
Please give a big, warm, phenomenal welcome to Judith Light.
The stars came out today, so to speak. They came out to support gay and lesbian civil rights, to mourn the lack of funding for the AIDS crisis, and to do what celebrities do best, attract national media that will take these images beyond the Washington Beltway and into America's heartland.
She starred in Sister Act with Whoopi Goldberg. She was a co-star of Kathy and Mo show on HBO. And she's starring with Bette Midler in Hocus Pocus, coming out July 17. Can we have a really big hand for Kathy Najimy?
Do you worry that by aligning yourself closely with a movement like this, that you in any way jeopardize your future?
Absolutely not. My future isn't based on show business or entertainment. I've been political since I was 14 years old, and the movies came just a couple of years ago, and my politics are much more important to me than any movie could ever be.
Please have a wonderful American welcome to Sir Ian McKellen.
Actor Sir Ian McKellen addressed the crowd. He's the first openly gay British citizen to be knighted. He has been universally praised for his most recent stage appearance as Shakespeare's Richard III.
I think the whole march is about giving each other encouragement. And there's a lot of self-congratulation going on, people thanking people for having helped them politically and socially. And so we're all helping ourselves and then going back, revived and re-energized, I hope, for the fight ahead.
From beneath the rubble.
Singer and actress Lorna Luft is currently delighting Washington audiences. She's starring in the revival of Guys and Dolls. Lorna's been a longtime supporter of our community.
The skeptics say tonight we're dead and gone. I'll be here tomorrow. Simply go where on.
Cybill Shepherd made her film debut in Peter Bogdanovich's The Last Picture Show. But her name became a household word only when she and co-star Bruce Willis found great success in the TV comedy mystery series Moonlighting.
I'm also here for myself. I would hate to think that if I loved a woman, I would be discriminated against in my work, that my children would be discriminated against, or that people would think that I was a different person because of my sexual choices. I'm the same person with the same strengths and talents and vulnerability and weaknesses, regardless of my sexual choice.
And with the dropping of the banner, the curtain fell on the 1993 march and rally.
And if a picture is worth 1,000 words, then we leave you with at least a half dozen chapters of a work in progress.
Something entitled One Step at a Time.
Or the gay 90s, perhaps, or It's Our Turn.
Something political, comic, sad, glorious, and downright entertaining.
Something both historic and herstaric.
And something with an amazing cast of characters, celebrities, entertainers, politicians, and the real stars of today's events, the diverse family of lesbians and gay men everywhere.
We'll let their voices serve as captions for our parting shots.
And we want to thank you for making this first season of In the Life such a rewarding one.
We are marching for our lives, you see, 'cause no one's free until everyone is. No one's free until everyone is. No one's free until everyone is free. You better work it, girl. Do your thing on the runway. You better work it, girl. Wet your lips and make love to the
In the Life is funded in part by 10%, the magazine of people, arts, and culture for lesbians and gay men, and Nora Beverages, makers of Naya Spring Water, a proud supporter of intelligent, entertaining, and informative programming on public television, and the H-Ban American Foundation.